Hi, this is DIY Just from DIY Nexus. A subscriber sent me a mechanical keyboard that's really neat, but it's damaged. Let's see if we can fix it. A subscriber sent in this Logitech G910 Orion Spectrum RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. There was a note attached that said that the A key is damaged. Let's open it up and see what we can do to fix it. Well, we can already see the A key is disconnected. The first thing we need to do is attach this to a PC and see if it works at all. It should light up, and some of the keys should work. I'm going to use this little Windows tablet that has a USB port on it. We then go to keyboardtester.com, and when you type things, it should show up on the screen. Well, the RGB works. That's pretty cool. So we're going to go through each key, and as we hit them, they should show up on the screen and make a click. And I'll zoom through this part and come back with the results. Everything seems to work, including the A key, except when I hit this one, it went nuts. And the keycap for A is broken. So now that we know what's wrong, we'll get to fixing it. To take this apart, we only need a few small Phillips screwdrivers. I'll put a link to these and other items we use in the description below. Before I disassemble this, disclaimer, I'm not a professional, and if you're uncomfortable doing this, you should take it to a qualified repair shop. I did a little bit of research on Google on how to disassemble this. It's pretty simple. There are a bunch of Phillips screws around the perimeter, and there are some secret ones under these pads on the base. Once you get this base piece off, there are another few secret screws, and then you'll be able to actually unclip the top surface from the bottom surface, and it'll be fully apart. If you like this type of content and find it helpful, please consider subscribing. We appreciate it. I'm seeing that the screws in the front are shorter than the screws in the back, so pay attention to that. There are two more hidden ones behind this blue plastic cover here, which slides out, and they're on each side. Now that they're all out, we can pop it apart. Pull the wrist rest off, just kind of clipped in. With this style of clip. Next, we need to get this top plastic trim off. Starting at this corner, you can kind of see there are two separate pieces, and if you lightly pull and push down on the keys here, you can start to pop it. And once it starts coming off, you just kind of rock it back and forth and loosen the clips to get it to come off. Now to get the keyboard assembly out of the base plastic, there are a few more screws and some of these little rubberized pieces that are for the upper keys for the media. So we'll pop them off and set them aside. There are a couple more hidden screws up here as well. I was having a hard time getting this out, but it turns out you have to pop the plastic wheel out. You can slide it off. And lastly, unplug the cable. I know there are a lot of different things we could do to troubleshoot whether this switch is really bad or not, but I think it's easiest to replace it. Then if it's still failed, we can go from there. And to remove it, we're going to have to desolder it from the back of the board. It's only 2 pins, so it should be pretty simple. You can buy original keycaps and switches on eBay. So I grabbed an A and a switch, It's a slightly different revision. You can tell by the color, blue versus black. And some people might say that would have a difference in the tactile feedback. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a key from somewhere else on the keyboard, put the blue one in there where you're not going to use it probably, and have the matching black one move back to a spot which is going to be more used. Here are the soldering and desoldering tools I'm using. I'll put a link in the description below. We'll start with the damaged switch. Looks like it's these two. I'm going to use the soldering iron to flow a little extra solder around these to make it easier to desolder them. And then use a desoldering pump to vacuum the hot solder out. We'll check to make sure the legs are separate. And we'll flip it over and pop the key out. It's clipped into the other side of the board. There's some little pins here. I'm going to try to use this piece to push through and push them out. There we go. Now that we have the damaged A key removed, I'll remove one of the other ones up top here that are much less frequently used, using the same method we did for this, and swap them. So I'll use this piece of tape to point at it, because it gets confusing otherwise. I was about to reinstall this switch over in the spot where the A would be, but I'm noticing it could use a good cleaning. So we'll clean this up first, and the way I'm going to do it is to pull all the keycaps. They just kind of pull straight up. Of course, you want to be careful because you don't want to break the little teeth on the back of the keycap here, but there really isn't anything holding them other than some light pressure. So let's start and try this. Special note. It might be smart to take a picture in advance so that you know where to put them all back. Of course, in my case, I can just look at the video. There are keycap pullers available for this, but I don't have one, so I'm going to keep doing it by hand. Since I don't have a keycap puller and the center ones are really hard to get, I'm just going to use this non-marking pry tool. Now that it's naked, and we can actually see some dirt and hair, which everybody's keyboard has, we're going to grab a vacuum and vacuum it out. We'll use a soft paintbrush to clean down between the keys. We'll vacuum it all off again and the table. Next, I'll use a damp microfiber to clean between all the keys. Using this tool and folding the microfiber over it, you can actually get in the grooves pretty easily to do this cleaning. Makes it a lot better than doing it all totally by hand. I'll take the keycaps, put some warm soapy water in this bucket, and then clean them off with the microfiber as well. After some cleaning, it looks much better. The keys have also been done. They're just going to be left to dry overnight to make sure there's no residual water. And now I'm going to take compressed air and blow over this entire thing and into each of the keys to make sure there's any lingering dust is out. We're going to solder in the switch that we pulled from up there. Now we'll put the new blue one back in the scroll lock position. Now we're to the point where we can attach the cable again, temporarily plug it in, and just test it. No point in reassembling it completely if we haven't succeeded in repairing it. With all the pieces cleaned and dry, it's time to assemble it. The hardest part about this is getting all the screws back to where they were originally. Time to review the footage and put the keys back on. I'm kind of embarrassed to say we had to look at the phone picture for almost all of the keyboard. That took 10 minutes. While looking for info on this keyboard, I ran across the Mechanical Keyboards subreddit. It turned out to be a wealth of information, with posts about cleaning and repair, and a lot of amazing examples of custom keyboards. If you're like me and want to learn more about it, go check them out. I've included a link below. All done, now we'll plug it in. Alright, now that I've put it back together and given it a test, it all works great. We're always happy to take something that's broken, do a DIY repair on it, and keep it from going to the landfill. To repair this, it cost me about $9 in shipping and parts, and a few hours of time. This will be the first mechanical keyboard I have, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. Big thank you to our subscriber who's anonymous from the New York area who sent it in. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. We're always looking for ways to improve, so if you have any suggestions, we'd appreciate it if you'd leave them in the comments below. If you like this type of content, please hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.